Chapter 3364. Even in the great desolate continent, Hotian cardinal treasures were extremely powerful treasures. Among the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe, there were only a handful of disciples who possessed acquired cardinal treasures. However, the great elder of the Thunderlight tribe had agreed to give him an acquired cardinal treasure as long as he won. This made him feel a little awkward. He was here to snatch something today. Sure. However, Wang Xian couldn't reject at this juncture. He nodded his head with a glimmer in his eyes. This new disciple, I'll ask for your guidance. Lei Jingfa didn't let his guard down. If he could suppress the thundercloud vulture, he couldn't be weak. Moreover, he could tell from the great elder's attitude. Please advise me. Wang Xian moved his palm and kept the thundercloud vulture. He shook his body and the unbeginning sacred wings appeared on his back. Only the lightning attribute unbeginning sacred wings appeared, which looked very strange. On the other side, Wang Xian condensed a pair of thunderbolt wings with the power of lightning. This is? At this moment, the great elder, who was standing at the front, saw the unbeginning sacred wings on Wang Xian's back. His body trembled violently and his eyes lit up. He pondered for a moment and watched silently. Should he use the thundercloud vulture for a one-on-one spar? He's so confident. When the surrounding disciples of the Thunder Ray tribe saw this, their eyes narrowed as astonished looks appeared on their faces. This guy should be a rank 6 universe venerable. How is this possible? He's not even 20 years old. This is impossible. Lei Jingyun shook his head in disbelief. With such strength at such a young age, wouldn't he be considered extremely powerful even among the elite tribes? Be careful. Lei Jingfa moved and lightning flickered on his body as he charged towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian focused his eyes. He had used the metal to conceal his 8 attributes and 8 types of energy. When he didn't use the 8 attributes, the 5 elements grindstone, and the Tai Chi dragon coil, his combat power was only at rank 6 universe venerable. At this time, he naturally couldn't expose his full strength. Wang Xian moved his palm and the lightning condensed into a dragon claw, which he grabbed forward. Great. I didn't expect to spar with such a genius today. Lei Jingfa laughed when he sensed Wang Xian's attack. A thunder hammer and thunder all appeared in his hands. The thunder hammer struck the thunder all, and a bolt of lightning struck the thunder dragon claw. Crackle! The sound of collision rang out. Wang Xian waved his hand and a bolt of lightning appeared in his hand. This bolt of lightning was something he had obtained from the thunderclouds. It was an acquired spiritual treasure. He waved his arm and lightning covered the lightning. It slowly turned into a lightning dragon. It swayed its huge body and directly attacked Lei Jingfa. Hiss, that disciple is so powerful. He has just joined our Thunder Ray race and hasn't even reached the 20th epoch yet, but he is already so powerful. This is too terrifying. Is he still human? Even a monstrous genius wouldn't be this monstrous. What powerful strength. The surrounding disciples were shocked to see the clash between Wang Xian and Lei Jingfa. Lei Jingfa was their senior brother. In the Thunderlight race, he could be ranked highly. This young man's means, beside the great elder of the Thunder Ray race, an old man stared at Wang Xian and mumbled. Divine Dragon. It's similar to the attacks of the Divine Dragon lineage. This isn't his true form. He should be a Divine Dragon. The great elder's eyes lit up as he spoke. Divine Dragon lineage? Is he a disciple of the ancestral dragon? It's highly possible. Other than those pinnacle races and forces, there aren't many high-level races with such talent and strength. The disciple of the ancestral dragon wants to join our Thunder Ray race? The old man beside him said in shock. That's not impossible. Now that the leader of the ancestral dragon has dispersed all his disciples and ordered them to pursue all kinds of techniques, the disciples of the ancestral dragon won't gather as long as a universe sovereign is not born. There are precedents of disciples of the ancestral dragon joining other forces. The great elder said, the ancestral dragon lineage was now known as the orthodox lineage of the divine dragon lineage. The leader of the ancestral dragon was also respected by many experts. Within the ancestral dragon lineage, There were many experts and supreme talents. Those purebred divine dragons and those pinnacle dragon species had talents comparable to those of the pinnacle races. As for some disciples of the ancestral dragon lineage, in order to pursue greater strength, follow their leader, and pursue the universe's sovereign realm, some of them joined other forces. The other forces didn't reject them. Firstly, the disciples of the ancestral dragon lineage were indeed outstanding. Secondly, regardless of whether the ancestral dragon lineage had a universe sovereign in the future, it would only be beneficial to these forces. If the ancestral dragon lineage had a universe sovereign and the disciple of the ancestral dragon returned, their race would also be connected to a pinnacle race because of this disciple. If the ancestral dragon lineage didn't have a universe sovereign, their race would have an expert with the bloodline of the divine dragon. Why not? With such a disciple, said the old man as he looked at Wang Xian in the field, nurture him. Nurture him with all our might. I'll report this to the patriarch and the rest later. The great elder of the Thunder Ray race said with a smile. The old man nodded. Xingfa is going to lose. Xingfa shouldn't have engaged him in close combat. The physical body of a divine dragon isn't something our Thunder Ray race can compare with. The great elder looked ahead and said, Bam! A violent collision sound came from the front. Wang Xian's arm was covered with dragon scales. He clenched his fist and collided with Lei Xingfa. A powerful force rushed towards Lei Xingfa. Sensing the force, Lei Xingfa held his breath and couldn't help but fly backwards. Pa pa pa! In the next instant, thunderbolts exploded around Lei Xingfa, causing his expression to change. I've lost. Lei Xingfa looked at Wang Xian with a complicated expression and said disappointedly, Senior brother Lei Xingfa has lost. The surrounding disciples of the Thunder Ray race were dumbfounded. Defeated just like that? Their senior brother had been defeated by a newly joined disciple? Great. What a strong divine dragon body and strong control of thunder techniques. What's the name of this disciple? The great elder stood up and applauded loudly. Wang Xian. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he replied. Wang Xian? Great, you've defeated a strong senior brother. I'll fulfill my promise and reward you with an acquired cardinal treasure. However, I'll give you a choice. The great elder squinted his eyes as he spoke. Please speak, great elder. Wang Xian cupped his hands. I have a part of a treasure here. You should have a part of it too. If you're sincere in joining the Thunder Ray race, I can give it all to you. As the great elder spoke, he moved his palm and lightning feathers appeared in his hand. Wang Xian opened his mouth slightly when he saw this. Damn, it's that easy? This isn't going according to plan at all. Wang Xian's original plan was to pull the wings off the back of the great elder of the Thunder Ray race and bring the lightning feathers away. However, he had already thought of an escape route. He had even considered how to deal with the attack of the experts of the Thunder Ray race. Little did he expect that the great elder of the Thunder Ray race would give it to him as a gift. This was beyond his expectations. Chapter 3365. 27 lightning feathers floated in front of the great elder of the Thunder Light tribe. Wang Xian could feel the restlessness of the unbeginning sacred wings in his body. He frowned slightly as he looked at the 27 lightning feathers. The lightning feathers were within his reach, but the great elder of the Thunder Light tribe had stated a condition. He wanted him to join the Thunder Light tribe sincerely. As the leader of the Dragon Palace, how could he join the Thunder Light tribe? However, the other party had not shown any signs of disgust. If he were to snatch it directly, he would feel bad. I understand your hesitation. I also know that you are a disciple of the ancestral dragon lineage. You will leave the moment your ancestral dragon lineage needs you. It doesn't matter. If you decide to leave the Thunder Ray tribe one day, you can do so directly. You just need to remember our kindness. Join the Thunder Light tribe and we will not mistreat you. The great elder of the Thunder Light tribe suddenly spoke again. When Wang Xian heard this, he paused for a moment. What's going on? He thinks I am a disciple of the ancestral dragon bloodline? I can leave at any time as long as I remember this favor? Wang Xian pondered for a while and instantly figured out many things. What? He is a disciple of the ancestral dragon bloodline? Is he a divine dragon? No wonder. No wonder he is so powerful. He has such strength at such a young age. He must be an elite supreme talent of the ancestral dragon bloodline? Is he a divine dragon? A purebred divine dragon? A lightning dragon? The surrounding disciples of the Thunderlight tribe discussed in shock when they heard the great elder. He is a divine dragon? No wonder his attack looked like the attack of the divine dragon clan. Lei Jingyun and Lei Jingfa were also shocked as they sized Wang Xian up curiously. All right, I will never forget the kindness of the Thunderlight tribe. Upon hearing his words, Wang Xian did not hesitate any longer and agreed immediately. Since the other party had mistaken him as a disciple of the ancestral dragon bloodline, he would make the best of it. As long as he remembered this kindness. These 27 lightning feathers were very important to him. Since the other party had given them to him in such a manner, Wang Xian would owe them a favor. He would repay them in the future. Ha, great. Wang Xian, right? Welcome to our Thunder Ray race. You're the first person with the divine dragon bloodline to join our Thunder Ray race. This is your reward. The Thunderlight race's great elder laughed heartily. With a wave of his arm, he tossed the 27 thunder feathers to him. When Wang Xian saw the 27 lightning feathers, his eyes were filled with excitement. He immediately extended his hand to receive them. He had finally found the last part of the unbeginning sacred wings. Moreover, Wang Xian realized that these feathers of lightning had been nurtured by the great elder of the lightning race. Each of them was comparable to an acquired spiritual treasure. 27 lightning feathers were comparable to 27 acquired spiritual treasures. After he nurtured it, he would be able to completely restore the unbeginning saint wings. At that time, what kind of radiance would the unbeginning sacred wings have? Now that he possessed 9 attributes, how could he unleash such power? His eyes sparkled as he put away all the lightning feathers. Thank you, First Elder. Wang Xian expressed his gratitude immediately with a smile. This was a sincere thank you. You're welcome. This is what you deserve. As the pride of the Thunderlight race, we will give you all kinds of rewards. With your strength, you can enter the inner sect directly. I'll bring you to a residence that you will be living in the future. The great elder waved his hand and was in a good mood. Yes. Wang Xian smiled and stood at the side. I'll leave the rest to you. Wang Xian, follow me. The great elder instructed the group of experts from the Thunderlight race. He looked at Wang Xian and gestured for him to follow him. Wang Xian nodded his head and immediately followed behind the great elder. I didn't expect a disciple of the ancestral dragon bloodline to join the Thunderlight race. Moreover, the great elder seems very happy. That's for sure. This is a win-win for us. If Wang Xian is a purebred divine dragon and marries a female disciple of the Thunderlight race in the future, they will give birth to a dragon. If there's a pinnacle dragon among them, the Thunderlight race will have made a killing. But perhaps even the great elder doesn't think as much as you? Hee, I don't think so. However, this Wang Xian is really impressive to possess such strength at such a young age. He'll be our senior brother in the future. After the great elder left, some of the older disciples of the Thunderlight race discussed softly. They had some guesses as to what the great elder was doing. Wang Xian, who had just left with the great elder of the Thunderlight race, heard the discussions behind him. His face darkened. This seemed to be a real possibility. He shook his head and threw these thoughts to the back of his mind. The main reason why he had come to the chaotic continent was for the lightning feather. Now that he had gotten it so smoothly, it was a pleasant surprise. Come, Wang Xian. This is a patch of thunderclouds where the inner sect disciples reside. Within this patch of thunderclouds, there's a blessed land called the Thunder Mountain. The Thunder Mountain emits the power of lightning that materializes and is extremely beneficial to the cultivation of the lightning Tao. The closer you get to the peak of the Thunder Mountain, the more benefits you will get from the cultivation of the lightning Tao. The great elder brought Wang Xian to a patch of thunderclouds. Within this patch of thunderclouds, there was a purple thunder mountain. This thunder mountain was very strange. It wasn't floating in the air but was connected to the ground below. This was a powerful blessed grotto heaven. Just the place where the disciples resided was within the blessed land. One could imagine the strength of the Thunderlight race. There's an empty palace at the peak. You can stay here in the future, the great elder said to Wang Xian. But Wang Xian looked over and nodded. This palace was near the peak and was considered an excellent location within the blessed land. However, Wang Xian wasn't concerned about this. He was prepared to make a trip back to the Dragon Palace to refine the lightning feather completely. I'll bring you to some important places of the Thunderlight race so that you can get to know them. The great elder continued talking to him as he brought him to take a brief look at the other places of the Thunderlight race. There was the Techniques Depository of the Thunderlight race, the Ascending Thunder Peak, and the Blessed Land where the disciples went for training. There was also the main hall of the Thunderlight race. Each place represented a grotto heaven and blessed land. Wang Xian did a rough calculation. Just the places that the great elder of the Thunder Ray tribe had brought him to had more than 10 grotto heaven and blessed land. This also allowed Wang Xian to truly witness the strength of the races within the chaotic continent. After all, the current Dragon Palace only occupied a single blessed land. These are some of the rules and things to take note of in the Thunderlight race. Take a look first. 3 days later, there will be disciples looking for you. You can also get to know each other. Before the great elder left, he passed a jade letter to Wang Xian. All right, great elder. Wang Xian nodded his head and watched as the great elder left. Forget it. I'll just stay with the Thunderlight race for some time and venture deeper into the chaotic continent. After standing there for more than 10 seconds, he smiled and entered his own hall. Chapter 3366. The interior of the main hall was lavishly decorated. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings and was very satisfied with the interior. He did not take out the unbeginning sacred wings immediately. After observing for a while, he took a look at the information given to him by the great elder of the Thunderlight tribe. He looked up all the rules and information about the Thunder Ray tribe. In this unfamiliar place, Wang Xian had to be careful. Chief, just as Wang Xian was browsing through the various messages, a majestic hall bathed in lightning was located in the main hall of the Thunder Ray tribe. From afar, it looked majestic. The great elder of the Thunderlight tribe stood in a room at the side of the main hall and bowed respectfully to the chief of the Thunderlight tribe. What's the joyous occasion that made you call me over so anxiously? The chief of the Thunderlight tribe sat on a chair and asked the great elder with a smile. Chief, regarding the disciple recruitment today, we had an accident. The grand elder happily reported everything that had happened that day to the patriarch. The chief of the Thunderlight tribe raised an eyebrow upon hearing his words. His eyes flickered. Very well done. With such strength at such a young age, there's a high possibility that he's a purebred divine dragon. Make arrangements for the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe to interact with him more. Be it sparring or training together. Oh, especially the female disciples. As the patriarch spoke, he gently tilted his chair. He is chief. I know what to do. The great elder nodded with a smile. If the other party was a purebred divine dragon, the Thunderlight tribe hoped that he could get married and have children here. If a purebred divine dragon or a powerful dragon was born, it would be extremely beneficial to the Thunderlight tribe. Treat him well. Give him treasures and resources. Even if he runs away, we will only suffer some losses. However, as long as he doesn't run away, we will earn a lot. Of course, we have to check his temperament too. The chief of the Thunderlight tribe continued to instruct. The great elder of the Thunderlight tribe nodded slightly. The rules are still all right. The Thunderlight tribe seems to be pretty good. The competition is fair. Wang Xian mumbled to himself after reading all the information in the main hall that he was staying in. His eyes flickered as he sat cross-legged in the cultivation room. He contacted the blazing sky array and carved an array. Buzz. Soon, Enlai and Sky Formations figures appeared. Dragon King. The two of them immediately bowed. Sky Array, set up some shielding formations in this room. If anyone comes in, immediately return to the Dragon Palace and inform me. Wang Xian immediately instructed the Sky Array. It's Dragon King. The heavenly formation answered. Wang Xian nodded. In the next moment, he disappeared and returned to the Dragon Palace. "I'm suffocating." After coming out, Wang Xian let Lingling out. He ignored the little brat and went straight to the Dragon King Hall. Buzz! With a jolt of his body, Wang Xian took out 27 lightning feathers. The last 27 lightning feathers. Crash! The unbeginning sacred wings appeared on his back. With a slight flap, the 27 thunder feathers automatically flew backward. Crackle! When the 27 lightning feathers landed on it, the power of thunder began to circulate and the lightning bolts intertwined with each other. Wang Xian stood there and sensed it quietly. The feather of thunder had already begun to return to the unbeginning sacred wings. Wang Xian could sense a majestic thunder and lightning being nurtured and reborn. However, he needed some time to nurture the lightning feathers before they could be completely integrated. Roar! On the unbeginning sacred wings, Wang Xian's thunder attribute doppelganger slowly stretched out his head and let out a roar. He began to swim on it. One lightning feather and the other wind feather. The two wings were on his back and were flapping slowly. Gradually, Wang Xian realized that the two doppelgangers of wind and thunder were slowly merging. This integration was not just into one, but the integration of energy. The speed of integration was slow and would require some time. At least a month's time. Wang Xian murmured as he sensed the speed of integration behind him. A month later, the complete unbeginning sacred wings would appear. The power of thunder in my body is constantly increasing. It won't be long before I can possess the combat power of a level 7 universe venerable with the power of thunder and my physical body. He calculated in his heart as he nurtured the unbeginning sacred wings with all his might, waiting for it to be completed. Dragon King, someone has entered your palace? 3 days passed quickly and the sky array sent a message. Ha! Wang Xian opened his eyes and shouted, "Sky array!" The silhouette of the sky array appeared. In the next moment, he returned to the main hall of the lightning race. He immediately concealed his energy with the special silvery white metal and flew out. Is junior brother Wang Xian cultivating inside? At the entrance of the main hall, hundreds of disciples of the lightning race stood at the front. The middle-aged man leading the group looked in with doubts. He's out. At this time, a girl's voice was heard and she looked forward curiously. Greetings, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm cultivating. Wang Xian walked out of the main hall and greeted the group of Thunder Ray Tribe disciples at the entrance with a smile on his face. No wonder junior brother Wang Xian could possess such strength at such a young age. You're really hard-working in your cultivation. We've disturbed you. The middle-aged man leading the group smiled and cupped his hands at Wang Xian. Not at all. I'm the one who forgot about the time. The great elder has already informed me in advance. Wang Xian shook his head and invited, senior and junior brothers, would you like to come in and have a seat? No. We are here to get to know junior brother Wang Xian. Naturally, we would like to invite you to our place. Let's go. We have prepared some good wine and dishes from the Thunder Ray race. I guarantee you have never tasted them before. The middle-aged man waved his hand and invited him. Sorry to bother you. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. Come, junior brother Wang Xian. Let me introduce you to everyone. From now on, we'll be a family in the lightning race. Feel free to look for us if you need anything. The universe AI will add you in a while. Junior brother Wang Xian, you don't have to stand on ceremony with us. As the middle-aged man spoke, he introduced the surrounding disciples to Wang Xian. From the middle-aged man's introduction, Wang Xian also knew his identity. The fourth senior brother of the lightning race was ranked fourth among the disciples. Among the disciples who came, he was the strongest. The top 3 senior brothers and sisters did not come this time. Senior brother, are you a divine dragon? A purebred divine dragon? How can you be so powerful at such a young age? You're so much more powerful than me. When they arrived at an entertainment venue for the disciples, Lei Jingyun could not help but ask Wang Xian. Chapter 3367. Wang Xian's age and the strength he had displayed far surpassed the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe. It was especially so for Lei Jingyun, who felt a huge blow. Her strength and talent were definitely top-notch within the same generation of the Thunder Light tribe. She wasn't inferior to her eldest senior brother. However, her current strength was worlds apart from Wang Xian. This was a huge blow to her. She stared at Wang Xian curiously. Was he a purebred divine dragon? The surrounding disciples of the Thunderlight tribe also looked at Wang Xian curiously when they heard Lei Jingyun's question. They were also curious about whether Wang Xian was a purebred divine dragon. Purebred divine dragons were powerful creatures that belonged to the pinnacle of the supremacies in the universe. They could fight opponents 3 levels higher than them, possessed powerful techniques, and had a chance of reaching the pinnacle. The Thunderlight tribe didn't seem weak. Their strongest expert was a pinnacle supremacy. However, the truth was that their strongest expert was only a level 8 supremacy. In the interior of the Great Desolate Continent, the majority of life forms could fight 2 ranks above them. This meant that bloodlines and talents that could fight above their ranks were useless in the Great Desolate Continent. There were still level 9 and pinnacle supremacies stronger than them. Not to mention those powerful pinnacle races. You can say so. Wang Xian smiled and nodded when he heard Lei Jingyun's curious words. He moved his palm and turned it into a dragon claw. The void froze and a lightning dragon soared into the sky before disappearing. Junior brother Wang Xian is really a purebred divine dragon? This is amazing. A purebred divine dragon, and a lightning dragon at that. This lightning dragon should be much more talented than us. In the future, junior brother Wang Xian will definitely surpass our patriarch and the rest. This is the first time I've seen a pinnacle race. I'm so envious. The group of disciples from the Thunderlight race looked at Wang Xian with envy in their eyes. Since the birth of the Thunderlight tribe, the strongest expert had been a level 8 supremacy. This had a lot to do with their own physique, bloodline, and techniques. It was extremely difficult for them to break through the shackle. This was also the reason why the strongest expert in the Thunderlight tribe was only a pinnacle supremacy. However, a purebred divine dragon was different. The only shackle for a purebred divine dragon was when they broke through to the Universe Dominator. At that time, their combat power could easily wipe out the entire Thunderlight tribe. This was the relationship between potential and upper limit. The other disciples of the Thunder Ray tribe were naturally envious of Wang Xian for possessing the body of a purebred divine dragon. Wang Xian chuckled. The divine dragon lineage was indeed not something the Thunderlight race could compare to. No wonder senior brother Wang Xian could defeat me. So you're a purebred divine dragon. Come, senior brother Wang Xian, let's go inside. Lei Zhengfa said from the side. The group arrived at the place where the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe had fun. When he entered, some of the disciples saw him and whispered to each other. Their faces were filled with curiosity. Now, all the disciples of the Thunder Ray race knew that an extremely powerful and demon-like disciple had arrived. Senior brother Lei Zhengfa, who had defeated a universe venerable level 6 in less than 20 eras, and even had a thundercloud vulture as a battle pet. This caused all the disciples to be extremely shocked. In particular, the fact that he might be a purebred divine dragon was even more shocking. Come, junior brother Wang Xian, have a taste. This is the thundercloud brew that I got from the elder. The group of disciples from the Thunderlight race greeted Wang Xian warmly. They had also received orders from their masters, the elders, and their seniors to befriend Wang Xian. They also wanted to be on good terms with such a powerful genius, a disciple with limitless potential. Moreover, Wang Xian's current strength could be ranked in the top 10 among the disciples of the Thunderlight race. After playing with the group of disciples for 5 to 6 hours, Wang Xian returned to his palace and announced that he was going into seclusion for a few months. The group of disciples from the Thunderlight race also smiled and nodded their heads. To them, a few months of seclusion was considered a very short period of time. Moreover, they also knew that Wang Xian had received a treasure from the Great Elder and needed to refine it. After returning to his palace, Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace again. This time, no one disturbed him. His identity as a purebred divine dragon had also spread throughout the Thunderlight race. This caused discussions among countless disciples and even the experts of the Thunderlight race. Time passed day by day. Wang Xian nurtured the unbeginning sacred wings in the Dragon Palace and waited for them to recover completely. Chirp chirp. A month later, a bird-like chirp was heard from within the Dragon Palace. Chirp chirp. Roar roar. Behind Wang Xian, the unbeginning sacred wings were radiating intense light. The violent power of wind and thunder condensed into the form of a powerful bird. The pupils of this wind and thunder bird seemed to possess infinite wisdom as it appeared on the unbeginning sacred wings. At this moment, the shadow of Wang Xian's wind and thunder clone appeared. The wind and thunder bird entered the shadow of the wind and thunder clone. In the next instant, Wang Xian felt the intense power of wind and thunder surging into his body. As for the unbeginning sacred wings, it started to take root on Wang Xian's back and completely entered his body as though it was going to become one with his body. Boom! At this moment, Wang Xian felt a huge image surging into his mind. In the image, a wind and thunder bird, which was 10,000 meters in size, was battling with countless creatures in the void. Some of these creatures were like humans, while others were like demonic beasts. However, their attacks were extremely strange. All of them seemed to possess the ability to teleport. That's right, it was teleportation. It was similar to the teleportation of Enlai. These countless humans and demonic beasts were unusually strong. However, the wind and thunder bird was equally terrifying. Bolts of lightning struck through the void. The speed of its flight was comparable to teleportation, or even faster. The speed of the wind and thunder bird had reached its peak. In fact, it even disappeared. Wang Xian could only see humans and demonic beasts being killed and falling to the ground. The brutal war continued and the smell of blood permeated the entire void. In just a few minutes, the number of experts who died in the hands of the wind and thunder bird was innumerable. Buzz buzz buzz. In the next instant, Wang Xian saw more than 10 huge figures appearing in front of the wind and thunder bird. Around these huge figures, the void began to distort and the space was wrinkled. It was extremely strange. Wang Xian couldn't see what happened next. This was because the battle was too fast and there wasn't even a shadow. The entire scene lasted for half an hour. In the end, more than 10 huge corpses and a wind and thunder wings suddenly appeared. The other parts of the wind and thunder bird had disappeared completely. Wang Xian sensed the strange war in his mind and was shocked. Chapter 3368. Powerful Tempest Bird. Terrifying enemies that could teleport. Moreover, there were many of these enemies who could teleport, and they were densely packed. Who were they? Was there such a race in the universe? This made Wang Xian think of Enlai and the creepy devil spirit altar, and the creepy space that Enlai had gone to enhance his strength. In the universe, there were 9 attributes: metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, light, and darkness. These 9 attributes had evolved into the current universe. However, he had never heard of an attribute called space. In his opinion, to perform space teleportation, one would need to reach the universe Lord realm. But now, it seemed that wasn't the case. There was more than one creepy existence like Enlai. No, they don't seem to be as creepy as Enlai. Enlai's space teleportation is faster and calmer than them. But even so, the ability of those humans and demonic beasts could also be called space teleportation. Wang Xian murmured. The scene in his mind had shocked him. Even in the inheritance of the divine dragon, there were no records of such an ability. Forget it. I'll know when I'm strong enough. From the scene just now, the Tempest Bird might have died. Now that the unbeginning sacred wings have completely integrated with me, I've also obtained an ability. Wang Xian shook his head and murmured. Searching the void was an ability that he had obtained. This ability originated from the Tempest Bird. It was a very powerful ability. By attaching the power of Tempest to the enemy, he would be able to find them no matter where they were hiding. Moreover, it had a very powerful effect, which was the lock-on effect. As long as one could lock on the enemy with the void lock-on, one's attack would be able to track them directly. Of course, there was a flaw. Only the power of Tempest could automatically track and attack. If Wang Xian were to use attacks of other attributes, there wouldn't be such an effect. But even so, this was already very powerful to him. Wang Xian's body shook and his entire body was covered by the 9 attributes. These 9 attributes gave off different colors of light and surrounded his body. At the same time, Wang Xian's aura grew stronger. Just a little bit more. The other 8 attributes have been improving along with me. In terms of quality, they are stronger than the lightning attribute. My lightning attribute is still lacking. Wang Xian sensed his body. The 5 elements, yin-yang, tempest, and tempest. The 9 attributes were divided into 3 camps. Among the tempest, the lightning attribute was slightly weaker. The energy in his body had yet to reach a balance. I need to increase my lightning attribute a little. Once I achieve balance, I can increase my attack power by another tier. In other words, it's a battle of 7 ranks. A faint smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. 7 levels higher than him. At that time, he would possess the combat prowess of a pinnacle universe venerable. It wouldn't take long. Now, let's increase my power of thunder, Wang Xian murmured. With a shake of his body, the silvery white metal covered the 8 attributes, leaving only the thunder attribute. He felt the energy in his body. It was comparable to a newly advanced level 7 venerable. When he could insta-kill a level 7 venerable, that would be when he could fight against pinnacle venerables. Moreover, it wasn't as simple as just resisting, it should be able to instantly kill a pinnacle universe venerable. It's just as well. I can head over to the lightning race to improve my power of lightning. He called Enlai over and ordered him to bring him back to the Thunder Ray tribe. Enlai, this is for you. After arriving at the Thunder Ray tribe, he hesitated for a moment before passing the ancient oil lamp to Enlai. Currently, the energy within the oil lamp was enough to withstand an attack from a first-order sovereign realm expert. Any more and it wouldn't work. Wang Xian had no use for it now. Moreover, his strength was increasing rapidly. Without sufficient energy, the oil lamp wouldn't be of much use to him. Thank you, Dragon King. With this defense, I can try to continue improving my strength. Holding the oil lamp, Enlai's eyes shone with excitement. Be careful. The space you went to is a little strange. Report to me when you come back. Wang Xian reminded him. Enlai nodded excitedly. He bowed and disappeared instantly. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he watched Enlai disappear. Didn't they know that the dimension Enlai had gone to was the Great Desolate Continent? Or perhaps it was some other place. Back in the palace, Wang Xian took a look at the surroundings. With a swift movement, he headed out immediately. The place where his palace was located was a paradise. Thunder attribute cultivators could cultivate dozens of times faster here. However, Wang Xian didn't cultivate here. He wanted to go to other places, to other thunderclouds, to bathe in lightning and cultivate. Or to see if he could hunt some lightning attribute wild beasts and absorb the power of lightning in their bodies. Wang Xian flew towards the foot of the mountain where the palace was. The great elder gave him a piece of information, which contained information about this thundercloud domain. Around the Thunder Ray tribe, there were fewer wild beasts and the power of lightning was milder. In the direction of the Sky Thunder City, it was milder. Behind the Thunder Ray tribe, there were some violent thunderclouds controlled by the Thunder Ray tribe. Further away was an area that the Thunder Ray tribe didn't control. There were wild beasts living there and violent lightning power. Disciples below the universe supremacy level were forbidden from going there as it was extremely dangerous. Even disciples above the universe supremacy level had to be careful. Although the disciples of the Thunder Ray tribe were good at speed, the wild beasts in the thunderclouds were even better. If they were ambushed and assassinated by wild beasts that were stronger than them, there was a high chance that they would be killed instantly. They wouldn't even be able to escape back to their own god nation. Therefore, the experts of the Thunder Ray tribe didn't recommend their disciples to go there. Of course, risks and benefits coexisted. One could obtain some lightning attribute spiritual treasures or even supreme treasures there. There were even quite a number of treasures for cultivation. The other 8 attributes in Wang Xian's body were concealed. Therefore, there was no need for him to reveal his full strength. As long as he was careful not to expose himself in times of danger, he could train and improve his strength at other times. When he arrived at the bottom, there was a teleportation array that could bring him directly to the border. Wang Xian entered the teleportation array and disappeared immediately. The next moment, he appeared in a public square. At the side, there were experts of the Thunder Ray tribe guarding this area. Seeing Wang Xian coming out from inside, the 6 experts guarding the area looked at him curiously. Be careful when you cultivate in the deeper areas. Don't lose your life. A middle-aged man reminded him kindly. Chapter 3369. Thanks for the reminder. Wang Xian cupped his fists at the 2 experts from the Thunder Light race who were guarding the array. With a swift move, he flew forward. Rumble, crackle, crackle. After flying for less than half an hour, thunder rumbled in front of him. The thundercloud field was filled with black and purple clouds. Thunder and lightning often rained down from below. The so-called thunder and lightning rain meant that the rainwater contained the power of thunder. Wang Xian shuttled through the clouds. From time to time, electric arcs would land on him and grind his body. A little deeper. Swoosh. Wang Xian murmured. In the next moment, a part of the thunder wings of the unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him. At the position of his thunder wings, the shadow of a thunder dragon appeared. As it flapped, it looked like a divine dragon was galloping. Indistinctly, he could see the shadow of a tempest bird on the lightning feathers. Wang Xian continued to fly forward. Strong senses were felt from the lightning wings. He could sense which direction had the strongest lightning power. Following this sense, Wang Xian continued flying forward. Half a month later, he came to the center of a purple thundercloud. I can sense a strong force of thunder coming from here. This force of thunder is very gentle and should be helpful for cultivation. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he came to the purple thundercloud. The thunder wings had a strong sense of thunder. He could sense the gentle force of thunder, which should be the existence of a treasure. This way. I found it. After flying for an hour, Wang Xian saw a fruit in the void ahead. This should be the Thunder Void fruit. Wang Xian walked over, plucked it, and murmured. The Thunder Void fruit was a fruit that grew in the cracks of the void. The conditions for the formation of such a fruit were extremely harsh. It was a rare treasure in the thundercloud region. In the sky above the chaotic continent, the void was much more stable than other places in the universe. Take this place for example. Unless Wang Xian unleashed all his strength, he could not open the cracks of the void. In this place, it was impossible to teleport and hurry on with one's journey. TSKSK, the energy in the Thunder Void fruit is really huge. I can cultivate here for a period of time. Wang Xian did not go deeper. This position was good enough for him. He did not rely on the thunder wings to search for treasures. The probability was too low, and it was a waste of time. After putting the Thunder Void fruit into his mouth, he sat under the lightning and began his cultivation. Bolts of lightning landed on his body, quickly transforming into energy within his body. Relying on this method of cultivation, Wang Xian's strength improved rapidly. Buzz. As the days passed, Wang Xian had been cultivating in the lightning for more than 2 months. However, on this day, a terrifying figure suddenly attacked Wang Xian, who was sitting cross-legged and cultivating. It had a long horn and a snake-like body. The thunderhorn snake was a desolate beast that specialized in sneak attacks. It lived in the thunderclouds and hunted. It had been staring at Wang Xian for 2 days. Seeing that Wang Xian was motionless, it launched an attack at this moment. The lightning horn snake with the attack power of a universe venerable rank 6 had terrifying and fast attacks. It hid in a thunderbolt above Wang Xian and attacked him. Courting death. Wang Xian sensed the changes in the lightning in the sky. He opened his eyes and looked over. His eyes were glistening. Let's try out the void tracking ability. He sat there cross-legged, and a lightning sword shot out from the wings on his back. Bam! The lightning horn of the thunderhorn snake collided with the lightning sword, giving off a crisp sound. Seeing that its attack had failed, the thunderhorn snake stuck out its tongue. Without any hesitation, it fled into the distance with lightning flickering on its body. Crackle! At this time, bolts of lightning landed on the thunderhorn snake. Wang Xian waved his arms and the thunder dragon claws clawed at it. These thunder dragon claws seemed to be equipped with navigation systems. No matter how the thunderhorn snake dodged, they continued to pursue it. The eyes of the thunderhorn snake were filled with anger. It swept its tail and bolts of purple lightning struck at the dragon claws. Crackle! The collision between the lightning was heard. Wang Xian waved his palm, and a lightning dragon gradually condensed and chased after the thunderhorn snake. The thunderhorn snake was horrified at this moment. It immediately fled into the distance while the lightning dragon chased after it. Buzz buzz. Soon, the thunderhorn snake disappeared and fled back to its nest after putting some distance between it and the snake. However, the lightning dragon was still chasing after it, as though it wanted to kill its way to the nest of the thunderhorn snake. Wang Xian looked over and his eyes were glistening. He could sense that the lightning dragon that he had released had been flying for more than 10 minutes. Eventually, it was attacked by other lightning in the thunderclouds and disappeared completely. It's really searching through the void. As long as the other party hasn't cleared the power of lightning left in its body, my attack will be able to chase after the other party until the energy is depleted. Wang Xian revealed a smile. In this way, he could chase to the location of the other party's holy kingdom. After a simple test, he closed his eyes and continued his cultivation. Third senior sister, this thundercloud vulture is too hard to catch. We finally found one, but it escaped. A female disciple of the Thunderhorn tribe, who was not far away, commented unhappily. The thundercloud vulture is known for its speed and it is rare. It is extremely difficult to catch it. There are only 100 thundercloud vultures in the entire Thunderhorn tribe. A middle-aged woman shook her head with a smile. Yeah, junior sister Jingyun. It is too difficult to get a thundercloud vulture. I think you should consider other war pets. The dozen or so disciples beside him also suggested. The potential of other war pets is too low. Some of them are ugly. Who would want such a war pet? Lei Jingyun shook her head with a bitter face. Then we have no choice. Unless we encounter a thundercloud vulture with rank 1 or 2 supremacy realm combat strength, we will have a chance to catch it. Otherwise, it will be hard to catch the slightly stronger ones. Moreover, it will be hard to tame it after we catch it. The woman who was addressed as third senior sister shook her head. All right then. I wonder how Wang Xian managed to catch a thundercloud vulture. His strength is the same as his thundercloud vulture. Lei Jingyun murmured with a tinge of unwillingness on her face. Upon hearing her words, third senior sister suddenly exclaimed in surprise. She looked ahead and exclaimed, "There is someone ahead." It's senior brother Wang Xian? What a coincidence! A middle-aged man looked over with a surprised look on his face. Chapter 3370, It's True. Senior brother Wang Xian. Within the thundercloud, Lei Jingyun and the rest looked at Wang Xian and greeted him with smiles. Wang Xian had already sensed their arrival. He stood up and looked at them. Senior brother Wang Xian, are you cultivating here alone? A middle-aged man asked Wang Xian. There might not be many people in the Thunder Ray tribe who knew Wang Xian. However, many outstanding disciples knew him. The group of disciples who had invited Wang Xian previously were all rather famous in the Thunder Ray race. Yes, I'm cultivating here. Wang Xian nodded his head. He looked across them and asked, Are you guys training? Yes. I'm roaming around with third senior sister and the rest to see if we can catch some wild beasts and find some treasures. The middle-aged man nodded his head. Senior brother Wang Xian, you have to be careful if you're alone. It's very dangerous here. I'll take note. Wang Xian nodded his head. Senior brother Wang Xian. At this moment, Lei Jingyun rolled her eyes. Suddenly, she shouted and flew towards Wang Xian. The group of disciples from the Thunder Ray race was shocked when they saw her. What's the matter? Wang Xian asked with a smile when he saw Lei Jingyun rolling her eyes. He had a pretty good impression of the disciples from the Thunder Ray race. Hee, senior brother Wang Xian, I do have a question. How did you catch that thundercloud vulture? Lei Jingyun looked at Wang Xian and asked with a chuckle. How did I catch it? Is that how I caught it? Wang Xian replied with a smile. Thundercloud vulture is so fast. How can I catch it? Lei Jingyun was speechless. I have an idea. Wang Xian looked at her and said, You have an idea? Lei Jingyun's eyes lit up and flickered with radiance. Why don't senior brother Wang Xian accompany us to capture the wild beasts? If we succeed, I'll give you some treasures for your cultivation. What do you think? Wang Xian was slightly taken aback when he heard her. He pondered for a moment and nodded his head when he saw her expectant expression. Sure. He agreed. Hee, that's great. Third senior sister, let's go. I've invited senior brother Wang Xian. Let's continue to capture thundercloud vultures. With senior brother Wang Xian and you around, in addition to the thundercloud vulture in senior brother Wang Xian's hands, our chances of success are high. Lei Jingyun said excitedly. Third senior sister smiled and shook her head. Her gaze fell on Wang Xian. Welcome to our team, junior brother Wang Xian. No need. I came out this time to see if I can get some treasures. Wang Xian shook his head. After 2 months of training, his current lightning attribute strength was comparable to a level 7 universe venerable. Next, he would follow them around and see if he could find any treasures. All right. With the addition of senior and junior brother Wang Xian, our chances of capturing some wild beasts will increase significantly. Third senior sister said, Since senior brother Wang Xian is joining us, let's head deeper into the Thundernet. What do you think? A middle-aged man suggested with a smile. Lightning net is fine too. There are more desolate beasts active there. Let's go. Third senior sister pondered for a moment before nodding her head. Let's go, senior brother Wang Xian. Summon your thundercloud vulture. Lei Jingyun nodded his head and said to Wang Xian. Chirp chirp. Wang Xian smiled and waved his arm. The thundercloud vulture appeared in front of him. I'm so envious. When can I have a thundercloud vulture as my own? As Lei Jingyun spoke, his expression was filled with envy. The surrounding disciples were also envious. The potential of the thundercloud vulture was similar to the thunder ray race. If it was fed well, its strength would be similar to theirs. It was equivalent to having a strong comrade. Let's go. The group of them smiled and flew straight ahead. Lei Jingyun and the group were clearly familiar with the situation here. Wang Xian followed them and looked around. The weakest among them was at least a level 3 universe venerable. The strongest was third senior sister, who had the strength of a level 7 universe venerable. They flew for a full 2 days before they reached the Thundernet that they mentioned. Thundernet was what the Thunder Ray race called it. The entire thundercloud, as well as the area below, was filled with dense thunderbolts. These thunderbolts intertwined and formed a world of thunderbolts. There were strong and weak thunderbolts. The strong ones could match the attack of a universe venerable. Everyone be careful. We will split up and move forward in pairs. Once we discover anything, inform us immediately. The third senior sister glanced at the crowd and instructed. In that case, I'll go with senior brother Wang Xian. He's strong and has a war pet, Lei Jingyun said immediately. Sure. Third senior sister nodded her head. The other dozen people also formed groups of 2. The stronger ones would carry the weaker ones. Let's go this way. Lei Jingyun moved her palm and a thunderbolt needle appeared in front of her. She looked at Wang Xian and said, Wang Xian nodded his head. He looked at the needle in front of her and asked curiously, What kind of treasure is this needle? This is called a lightning compass. It can sense experts in the surrounding thunderbolts. If there are wild beasts, it can also detect them. It's a very practical treasure. When our disciples come out, we can apply for it from our race. Lei Jingyun introduced to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head. Let's go. Our thunder light race is still very powerful. We even have innate spiritual treasures. Lei Jingyun said proudly. Innate spiritual treasure. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and followed her as they flew forward. The lightning compass could help the disciples of the thunder light race avoid danger. However, there weren't many of such treasures in the thunder light race. Wang Xian followed beside Lei Jingyun and flew forward while scanning the surroundings. Days passed. Soon, Half a month had passed and they hadn't encountered a single wild beast. The entire area covered by the thunderclouds was too vast. Even if Wang Xian unleashed his full strength, he would still need more than 100 years to fly from one side to the other. "Brothers, we found a wild beast over here." Soon, a voice sounded in the minds of Wang Xian and the rest. Wang Xian was taken aback and immediately looked to the right. "We found it. I wonder if it's the thundercloud vulture. Senior brother Wang Xian, we'll be counting on you later." Lei Xingyun's face was full of excitement as he spoke. He immediately flew to the right. Wang Xian made a move and flew over. On the right, 2 middle-aged men found a wild beast. The rest of the disciples also rushed over quickly. In front, there are 2 three-tailed thunder foxes. Their strength should be around level 4 universe supremacy. Wang Xian and the rest rushed over. A middle-aged man pointed to the front and said, Chapter 3371. Three-tailed thunderfox was considered a common wild beast in the thundercloud region. In terms of talent, it was weaker than the thundercloud vulture. However, a three-tailed thunderfox with the combat strength of a rank 4 universe venerable was still a decent war pet. It's still the same as before. Surround them and constantly attack them to prevent them from escaping back to their homeland. Third senior sister instructed them. Yes. It was clearly not their first time hunting wild beasts as they nodded their heads solemnly. Compared to them, the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes at the rank 4 universe venerable realm had a huge gap in strength. However, if they were to barge in recklessly, the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes would escape instantly. Even if third senior sister were to attack directly, she would not be 100% confident. In a world where the strong preyed on the weak in the chaotic continent, every wild beast that could grow to this stage possessed strong vigilance. Otherwise, they would have died a long time ago. The group stared at the 2 10-meter-long thunder foxes and dispersed to their surroundings, preparing to surround them. Wang Xian followed beside Lei Xingyun and flew to the left. Soon, they formed an encirclement. "Do it." At this time, third senior sister's voice rang in everyone's mind. They focused their attention on the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes and charged over. Crackle! When they were halfway there, the sound of thunder came from the surroundings. The sound of thunder was unusually ear-piercing. In an instant, the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes scanned their surroundings. Without any hesitation, their figures began to turn illusory. Without any hesitation, they wanted to escape back to their nests. Thunderlock! Wang Xian focused his eyes and struck the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes with the thunderbolts in his hands. The 2 thunderbolts were not strong, but their speed was terrifying. They arrived before the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes. The 2 three-tailed thunder foxes were horrified. Their chance to escape back to their god nation was interrupted. Such fast thunderbolts! At this time, third senior sister's attack arrived. She was shocked when she saw Wang Xian's thunderbolts. Crackle! Soon, the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes were completely covered by the thunderbolts and were easily captured. The most important thing to capture a wild beast of this level was to interrupt their return to their god nation. Once they were interrupted, they could be easily suppressed. Junior brother Wang Xian's lightning is really fast. After the 2 three-tailed thunder foxes were captured, third senior sister walked over and said, "Not bad." Wang Xian smiled. This time, it's all thanks to junior brother Wang Xian for interrupting the three-tailed lightning fox's attack. He deserves 80% of the credit. Third senior sister said, "No problem." The rest of the disciples did not have any objections. Everyone had witnessed what had just happened. They were also shocked by Wang Xian's lightning speed. Wang Xian smiled and wasn't bothered by it. There's something wrong with the lightning compass. There's a desolate beast nearby. At this moment, a middle-aged man exclaimed from the side. There really is one. There's even a desolate beast nearby. Let's go and capture it. Lei Xingyun said loudly as he looked at the lightning needle in front of him. Collect the 2 three-tailed lightning foxes. We'll go check it out. Third senior sister immediately instructed. Wang Xian shifted his body and the thunder wings appeared on his back, vibrating slightly. This way. His figure moved and he immediately flew over. The rest of the disciples immediately followed behind him. Over there. Soon, Wang Xian and the rest saw a shadow. It was a desolate beast with wings. Thundercloud vulture. It's the thundercloud vulture. Hurry up and capture it. Lei Jingyun looked over and his eyes lit up as he transmitted his voice to everyone. Give it a try. Capture it if you can. Third senior sister said to all the disciples. This thundercloud vulture was in flight, unlike the three-tailed lightning fox which was lying in the thunderclouds and surrounded by them. It was impossible for them to surround the thundercloud vulture now. They could only pursue it. Swoosh! Wang Xian stared at the thundercloud vulture. With a wave of his arm, dense thunderbolts struck at the thundercloud vulture. Chirp chirp! The thundercloud vulture noticed Wang Xian and the rest. It let out a low chirp and launched thunderbolts at them. Swoosh! Capture it! The disciples of the Thunderlight race flew over immediately. Thunderbolts turned into a lightning net and attacked the thundercloud vulture. Chirp chirp! The thundercloud vulture sensed their might. It flapped its wings and fled into the distance. This thundercloud vulture has the combat strength of a rank 5 universe venerable. Be careful! The third senior sister looked over and reminded loudly. Searching the void. Wang Xian revealed a smile when he sensed the thunderbolts falling on the thundercloud vulture. He stopped and stood there. Thunderbolts condensed into a chain and he swung it at the void. Senior brother Wang Xian, go after it. Get your war pet to go after it. There's a chance to capture it. At the side, Lei Jingyun shouted loudly when he saw Wang Xian standing there without giving chase. Swoosh! Wang Xian ignored him and continued to launch attacks at the thundercloud vulture. Subsequently, he stood there and waited quietly. Oh no, it's too fast! The disciples of the Thunderlight race exclaimed as they chased after the thundercloud vulture. Within the thunderclouds, one's vision would be greatly obstructed. Cultivators with thunder attributes would be greatly enhanced within the thunderclouds. They were already quite a distance away from the thundercloud vulture. Hence, the thundercloud vulture did not linger and fled immediately. Even third senior sister couldn't catch it in an instant. Moreover, this was a thunderstorm region with all sorts of thunderbolts. It was easy to lose track of it. However, while they were chasing after it, they didn't notice that 4 to 5 thunderbolt chains were flying towards the thundercloud vulture at high speed. Phew! Stop chasing. We won't be able to catch it if we continue like this. Moreover, we might be in danger. Third senior sister chased after him for 2 minutes before stopping. In this region, it was extremely dangerous to pursue unscrupulously. There might be a chance of catching it if they continued chasing. However, it was risky and unnecessary. It escaped again. The thundercloud vulture is too vigilant. It can detect us before we even get close and escape instantly. Unless we encounter a rank 1 or 2 universe supremacy, we can suppress it with our superior speed. Otherwise, it will be difficult to catch it. The disciples of the Thunderlight race shook their heads and commented helplessly. In this unique environment, it was easier to hunt other wild beasts. However, it would be troublesome to hunt a wild beast like the thundercloud vulture. The disciples paused in the air and shook their heads. Chirp, chirp, chirp. However, at this moment, a hurried sound was getting closer. This shocked everyone and they turned around immediately. Psst, this is? All of a sudden, they widened their eyes and looked ahead in shock. Chapter 3372. In front of them, the thundercloud vulture that was bound by chains was flying towards them. The thundercloud vulture shrieked in horror. All the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe were dumbfounded. What's going on? What's going on with the thundercloud vulture? Why is it bound by chains? How did it end up here? Everyone glanced at each other and stared at the bound thundercloud vulture. Wang Xian revealed a smile when he saw this scene from behind. It was very easy to destroy or capture an enemy, especially one that was weaker than him. If the thundercloud vulture had escaped back to its own holy kingdom, Wang Xian might have to spend some effort to capture it. However, it didn't. The thunderbolt chain chased after it and bound it. Then, it flew over automatically. Swish! Wang Xian waved his arm and the thunderbolt chain flew over with the thundercloud vulture. He grabbed the chain. This, Lei Jingyun stared at the thundercloud vulture with his eyes wide open. He was in disbelief. Junior brother Wang Xian, what's this? Is this chain a powerful treasure? Third senior sister came to her senses and flew over, pointing at the chains with a shocked expression. No, it's just a Dharma form attack. Wang Xian found an excuse and smiled. I don't want this thundercloud vulture. Whoever wants it can take it away. Wow, senior brother Wang Xian, you're too powerful. How could you capture this thundercloud vulture so easily? Lei Jingyun reacted, his face filled with shock as he exclaimed. Boo-hoo, I really want this thundercloud vulture. It's a pity that it's too strong and I can't suppress it. Soon, she spoke dejectedly. Dharma form attack. Senior brother Wang Xian's attack is so powerful. You're just standing there and yet you can bind it. That's unbelievable. Yeah, senior brother Wang Xian's attack is too powerful. No wonder he's a divine dragon. A group of disciples from the Thunderlight tribe gathered around and exclaimed. Junior brother Wang Xian, the thundercloud vulture is very precious. You're the only one who obtained it. If you want to sell it, the other senior brothers will give you a satisfactory price. The third senior sister stared at the thundercloud vulture and said, I don't need it. You guys can have it. Wang Xian shook his head indifferently. He wasn't lacking in cultivation resources. The only thing he lacked was thunder attribute treasures. Of course, he didn't really lack this treasure. He had quite a few treasures on hand, and he could casually sell them for some lightning-type treasures. What he needed more was time to polish the lightning attribute in his body. That won't do. The third senior sister shook her head and looked at the crowd. Her gaze landed on 4 or 5 people. Among the 5 of you, who wants this thundercloud vulture? Let's go by strength. Senior brother Ing is the strongest, so let's give it to him. A middle-aged man's expression changed as he spoke. I agree. The other middle-aged men and women also nodded in agreement. Thank you, junior brothers and sisters. The middle-aged man hesitated for a moment, but he did not refuse and said gratefully. Hee, senior brother Ing, you should thank senior brother Wang Xian. A middle-aged man smiled and said, Thank you, senior brother Wang Xian. Thank you. The universe venerable rank 6 junior brother respectfully bowed. No need. Wang Xian shook his head. Senior brother Wang Xian, I only have these treasures and cultivation resources with me for now. I'll gather them for you when we get back. He took out some cultivation treasures from his space ring and handed them to Wang Xian. I'll take this thunderbolt bead. I don't want the rest. Wang Xian casually took a thunderbolt bead and rejected the rest. This time, he didn't really want to join the Thunderlight tribe. It was just for the Thunder Feather. Since he was misunderstood by the Great Elder and the rest, he could only beat them at their own game. However, Wang Xian would remember this favor and repay it in the future. Helping the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe was nothing to him. Wang Xian really didn't fancy these treasures. How can this do? The middle-aged man was taken aback. It's all right. Let's continue and see if we can encounter more thundercloud vultures. Wang Xian waved his hand. Thank you, senior brother Wang Xian. Thank you. The middle-aged man didn't know how to express his gratitude and bowed. Senior brother Wang Xian is really generous. This thundercloud vulture is worth a lot. Yeah, senior brother Ing. You owe senior brother Wang Xian a big favor this time. I know. I, the thundercloud vulture, will repay you in the future. The group of disciples looked at Wang Xian in awe and envy senior brother Ing as they commented. Let's continue. With junior brother Wang Xian around, we should be able to capture any wild beasts we encounter. Third senior sister said with a smile. The group nodded their heads and continued their exploration. However, when they looked at Wang Xian, their faces were filled with respect. Senior brother Wang Xian, can you capture a thundercloud vulture for me? I want one too. Lei Jingyun followed by Wang Xian's side and pleaded. This isn't something that I can capture just because I want to. If I can encounter one, I'll definitely capture it for you. Wang Xian smiled at her and assured her, You're right. Lei Jingyun's eyes lit up as she looked at the lightning compass and the surroundings seriously. I've encountered a group of wild beasts. Ha, brothers, come over quickly. As Wang Xian searched, he trained his thunder attribute and his strength gradually increased. 10 days later, the excited voice of a disciple was heard. Let's go, senior brother Wang Xian. Lei Jingyun shouted with a face full of excitement. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head and immediately flew towards the source of the voice. This is Thunder Horse? As Wang Xian approached, he immediately noticed the group of thunder horses ahead. Thunder horses had a pair of thunder wings and were also a war pet that the disciples of the Thunder Light race coveted. Thunder horses were slightly weaker than thundercloud vultures, but they could also fight 2 ranks higher. In front of them, there were more than 20 thunder horses. They were riding on thunder and looked extremely mystical. Compared to thundercloud vultures, they were more suitable as mounts and looked extremely handsome. At this moment, more than 20 thunder horses were surrounding a purple fruit that was emitting powerful thunder energy. 24 thunder horses. From the aura they are exuding, there are 4 rank 6 universe venerables and the weakest one is at least a rank 3 universe venerables. Third senior sister flew over and transmitted her voice. They carefully hid in the surroundings to prevent being discovered. We can strike now. Wang Xian nodded his head and said, leave the 4 rank 6 universe venerables to me and the rest to you guys. Capture as many as you can. There are too many of them and we can't surround them. Let's strike directly and don't be greedy. Third senior sister instructed with flickering eyes. The group of disciples answered immediately. Wang Xian chuckled. Thunder dragons emerged from his body one after another. There were 5 thunder dragons with long thunder chains attached to their tails. Strike. Third senior sister shouted softly and immediately charged over to attack. Chapter 3373. Crackle. Within the thundercloud, a dense lightning net surrounded the surroundings. 24 heaven thunder horses guarded a fruit. The disciples of the Thunder Light tribe immediately surrounded them. Wang Xian stood at the back. With a wave of his arm, 5 thunder dragons flew forward. The thunder dragons were fast and not any slower than third senior sister. They split into 5 directions and surrounded the group of heaven thunder horses as they attacked. Behind them, there was a large number of thunder chains. The chains collided with each other, making a clattering sound. The moment the disciples of the Thunder Light tribe charged over, the group of thunder horses noticed them. They stood up and stared at them. Thunderous roars came from the heavenly thunder horse's mouth, and bolts of lightning struck towards them. Thunderlight. Seeing that the group of thunder horses did not escape, third senior sister immediately released her nomological laws and charged towards the thunder horses at the fastest speed. Roar. However, when the group of thunder horses saw third senior sister break through their attacks, the leader of the thunder horses lifted his head and roared, ordering his companions to escape immediately. Roar. The group of thunder horses did not hesitate and escaped immediately. Roar. However, at that moment, the 3 thunder dragons had already arrived behind them. The thunder dragon's tail carried the thunder chains as it attacked them. Roar. The 2 heavenly lightning horses with level 6 venerable battle prowess roared, their wings emitting powerful lightning energy as they charged towards Lei Long Walala. However, their attacks were easily blocked by the thunder dragons in the next instant. Chains continued to attack them. Roar. The 2 thunder horses let out a terrified roar. The surrounding thunder horses saw this and ran forward frantically. Control. At this time, the thunder wings on Wang Xian's back flickered. 5 thunder dragons released streaks of thunder light and attacked all the thunder horses. The thunder light landed on the thunder horses and paralyzed them instantly. The thunder dragon roared, and chains wrapped around the heaven thunder horse. Roar. The heaven thunder horse wanted to escape, but it was completely bound by the thunder chain. The 20 heaven thunder horses were all tied up. When all the disciples saw this, their faces were filled with shock as they stared at the suppressed heaven's thunder horses in disbelief. 24 heaven thunder horses were suppressed just like that? They weren't even close yet. Senior brother Wang Xian's strength is definitely above universe level 6. A middle-aged man opened his mouth and said in shock, "Crush." At this moment, Wang Xian pulled his arm and all the lightning dragons flew back. The heaven thunder horses that were tied up followed suit. "All right, you guys suppress it?" Wang Xian smiled at the disciples of the lightning race who were still in shock. "Wow, senior brother Wang Xian, you're too awesome." To the side, Lei Xingyun exclaimed with a face full of amazement. "Wang Xian, you've made a breakthrough?" Third senior sister flew over and stared at him in shock. How old was Wang Xian? To possess such terrifying strength. To be able to suppress a group of heavenly thunder horses with a wave of his hand, his strength was definitely that of a level 7 universe venerable. "Yeah, the lightning feathers that the great elder gave me have improved my strength." Wang Xian nodded. There was nothing to hide. "Gosh, you've made a breakthrough again?" Among the disciples of the lightning race, only big senior brother, second senior brother, and third senior sister have level 7 universe venerables. Lei Xingyun stared at Wang Xian in disbelief. Level 7 universe venerables could be ranked in the top 4 among the disciples of the lightning race. Is this the talent of a divine dragon? It's unbelievable. A girl murmured. Even the disciples of the peak races aren't that unbelievable, right? Senior brother Wang Xian is too awesome. He might even become a universe dominator in the future. Senior brother Ying exclaimed. "Wang Xian, you might not be weaker than me now. When we get back, let's have a spar. If you win, you'll be our third senior brother." Third senior sister looked at Wang Xian and said in shock. Wang Xian smiled and didn't mind. "You guys can suppress these heaven thunder horses? If senior brother Wang Xian doesn't want them, we'll bring them back to the tribe and let the elders handle them. The elders will also remember your contribution," a middle-aged man said. The rest of the group nodded in agreement. "Up to you guys." Wang Xian said casually. "Hurry up. With senior brother Wang Xian around, we've gained a lot." The disciples said excitedly. "Suppress these heaven thunder horses and search for them for a few more months. Then let's go back." Third senior sister said with a smile. Great. With senior brother Wang Xian around, we'll definitely gain more." "That's right. Senior brother Wang Xian is too awesome." The disciples were in a great mood as they discussed. After suppressing the heaven thunder horses, the disciples kept them and continued their search. In the next 2 months, they were unlucky. They only encountered 4 wild beasts and all of them were easily suppressed by Wang Xian. This made the disciples realize that senior brother Wang Xian's speed was even stronger than third senior sister's. There was a high possibility that senior brother Wang Xian was stronger than third senior sister. "All right, we've gained enough this time. Let's go back," third senior sister said to them after 2 months. All right. Although the disciples were not satisfied, they didn't reject her. After all, it was all thanks to Wang Xian. They didn't want to trouble them for too long. "Senior brother Wang Xian, are you going back too?" Lei Xingyun asked Wang Xian. "Yeah, I'm going back." Wang Xian nodded. Over the past 2 months, he had been following them while honing his thunder art. He was about to reach the pinnacle. His strength would soon be comparable to a pinnacle universe venerable. "All right, let's go." Third senior sister nodded. With a wave of her arm, a thunder mirror appeared beneath her and enlarged. The rest of the disciples flew over immediately. Wang Xian stood on it as well. The journey wasn't short. They had flown a long distance during this period of time. It would take more than 2 months to return to the Thunderlight race. They didn't return to their own holy kingdom immediately. This was because they could try to capture the wild beasts along the way if they encountered them. The disciples were chatting on the thunder mirror. The more people there were, the livelier it was. After flying for more than a month, Wang Xian had gotten familiar with them. On this day, Wang Xian sat on the thunder mirror and ate the delicacies given to him by the disciples of the Thunderlight race. Around him, the disciples were also drinking and eating. As they were about to reach the territory of the Thunderlight race in a few days, they had let their guard down. Suddenly, Wang Xian's eyes narrowed. "Be careful," he shouted softly and immediately stood up. Chapter 3374. Swoosh. The moment Wang Xian issued the warning, he immediately stood up and reminded everyone. All the disciples on the Thunder Mirror were taken aback. Even the third senior sister was shocked as she quickly scanned the surroundings. Crackle! Wang Xian's body shook as streaks of lightning appeared around him. Swish, swish, swish. At this instant, beasts that were 100 meters long and only as thick as a thumb attacked them. There were more than 100 of these desolate beasts. Oh no, it's the thunder nematodes. Everyone be careful. The third senior sister's expression changed as she shouted. There are 3 rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematodes. Be careful. Wang Xian scanned the area and reminded them. He moved his palm and his entire arm instantly turned into a dragon claw. A thunder dragon claw swiped at the thunder nematodes. Among them, his attack covered 2 rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematodes. 3 rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematodes? All the disciples were shocked when they heard this. If you can't handle it, run back to your holy kingdom immediately. Third senior sister shouted, and the thunder mirror beneath her suddenly shone with a purple light. Streaks of lightning swept across the surroundings. Bam bam bam. On Wang Xian's side, the huge dragon claw collided with dozens of thunder nematodes. Especially the 2 rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematodes. When they collided with the dragon claw, dragon scales fell one by one and half of their bodies were buried inside. I can handle it, Wang Xian shouted. With a wave of his palm, a thunder prison appeared in his hand. The lightning prison was not formed by lightning. Instead, it was a Hotian treasure. He had obtained this acquired cardinal treasure after annihilating a group of forces and had never used it. Now it was time to use it. With a wave of his arm, the thunder prison instantly enveloped the 2 thunder nematodes. Post-celestial treasures were extremely beneficial to universe venerables at the rank 7 level. In addition, more than a month had passed and Wang Xian's thunder technique had reached its peak. One-on-one, he could easily kill a rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematode. With the help of the thunder prison, the 2 rank 7 universe supremacy thunder nematodes immediately sensed danger. They flickered and tried to escape. Too late. Wang Xian clenched his dragon claws and thunderbolts exploded. The 2 lightning nematodes shuddered. Buzz. The thunder prison flew over and directly imprisoned the 2 thunder nematodes inside. Waves of dense thunder power constantly attacked them. Thunder chain. With a soft shout, bolts of lightning turned into chains and swept towards the surrounding thunder nematodes. The powerful lightning instantly caught dozens of thunder nematodes. ZZZ. At the side, the rest of the thunder nematodes sensed the situation over at Wang Xian's side. Their eyes were filled with horror as they fled into the distance. True dragon body. 8 dragon clones. Wang Xian looked over. With a shake of his body, he transformed into a lightning dragon. 8 clones of the thunder dragon flew out of his body and attacked the group of thunder nematodes. Stay here, heavenly lightning earth net. When third senior sister saw Wang Xian transforming into a divine dragon, her body shook and she shouted. The thunder mirror floated above her head, and bolts of lightning struck the thunder nematode with the combat strength of a level 7 universe venerable. ZZZ. The eyes of that thunder nematode were filled with horror. Towering dragon horn. Wang Xian bellowed. The power of thunder gathered on the dragon horn and attacked the group of thunder nematodes. Crackle. In an instant, the entire area was engulfed in lightning, and the thunder nematodes were writhing in pain in the void. Wang Xian snorted coldly. Trying to escape after attacking them here? Wishful thinking. Even if he didn't explode his other attributes, he could still keep all these thunder nematodes. Is this the thunder dragon? He's too strong. Lei Jingyun looked at Wang Xian's divine dragon body with shock written all over his face. I should be able to call him senior brother Wang Xian now. The third senior sister glanced over, her eyes filled with awe. An acquired cardinal treasure had trapped 2 thunder nematodes with the combat strength of a level 7 universe venerable, and the mighty divine dragon body had defeated hundreds of thunder nematodes. Wang Xian's strength wasn't something she could compare with. Perhaps even big senior brother isn't a match for him. third senior sister murmured. Capture all these thunder nematodes. At this moment, they heard Wang Xian's voice and immediately captured all the thunder nematodes. Thunder nematodes are a very powerful weapon-type war pet. Those 3 thunder nematodes with the combat strength of a level 7 universe venerable are no less than an acquired cardinal treasure to a level 7 universe venerable. A middle-aged man roared excitedly. When the third senior sister heard this, her eyes lit up and she revealed an excited expression. She immediately made a move to suppress the lightning nematodes. Thunder nematodes were a very special type of wild beast. They were very thin, only the size of a thumb, and their length could be shortened or lengthened. They had a strong penetrative ability and could be used as a powerful weapon. To a level 7 universe venerable, they were comparable to an ordinary acquired cardinal treasure. Of course, in reality, they were still far from being comparable to an acquired cardinal treasure. However, a thunder nematode of the same level could be used as a weapon to fight 2 at once. Seeing that all the thunder nematodes had been captured, Wang Xian smiled and transformed into his human form. He came to the thunder dungeon and suppressed the 2 thunder nematodes inside. He also captured the thunder nematodes of other levels in his hands. Senior brother Wang Xian, over 100 thunder nematodes. This is a great harvest. How we're rich. Senior brother Wang Xian, you're awesome. How did you improve your strength? Isn't this too fast? The group of disciples came to Wang Xian with thunder nematodes in their hands and exclaimed excitedly, "Here you go. Keep it." Wang Xian smiled at them and passed the thunder nematodes to third senior sister and the rest. Senior brother Wang Xian, I should address you respectfully as senior brother now. Third senior sister looked at the group of thunder nematodes and said in admiration. Wang Xian didn't mind. He gestured to them again and said, "Each of you keep one that you can use. Leave the rest to the clan." Senior brother Wang Xian, aren't you going to keep one? These thunder nematodes are of great use to us. Third senior sister said to him, I don't need them. You guys can keep them. Wang Xian shook his head. That's great. Thunder nematodes. Thank you, senior brother Wang Xian. Thank you, senior brother Wang Xian. The group of disciples cheered excitedly. They had made a killing this time. All right, let's go. Wang Xian waved his hand and said with a smile. Chapter 3375. Senior brother Wang Xian, are you coming with us to see the elders? The elders will definitely reward you handsomely for capturing so many dire beasts this time. Within the territory of the Thunderlight tribe, third senior sister and the other disciples asked Wang Xian after he and the group dealt with the thunder nematodes. You guys go ahead. I won't be going. I'm going back to rest. Wang Xian shook his head and replied to them. All right then. We will report everything to the elders. Third senior sister and the rest nodded their heads and waved at him. Wang Xian replied before flying back to his palace. Phew. This time, I should be able to go against pinnacle supremacies after I cultivate the law of lightning to its peak. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he returned to his palace. With a flick of his palm, the silvery white metal landed in his hand. A majestic aura emanated from his body. His surroundings were gradually shrouded by 9-colored radiance. 5 elements, wind, thunder, and yin-yang. When all 9 elements were activated, he could unleash terrifying strength. The offensive power of the 5 elements, the speed of wind and thunder, and the defense of light and darkness. The 9 elements faintly supported each other, causing his strength to improve tremendously. The universe is made up of 9 elements. In that case, can I fuse the 9 elements and transform them into one supreme element? Wang Xian mumbled to himself as his eyes sparkled. He tried it and quickly frowned. The 5 elements could fuse together. Wind, thunder, and yin-yang could fuse together. However, it was extremely difficult to fuse all of them together. Elder, these dire beasts were basically captured by senior brother Wang Xian. He said he doesn't need them. At the same time, third senior sister and the rest of the group had released all the dire beasts in the main hall of the Thunderlight tribe and reported to the 7th elder in the merit shop. Most of them were captured by Wang Xian's disciples? Even the thunder nematodes with level 7 supremacies? The seventh elder stood in the main hall and looked at the group of dire beasts in shock. Although these dire beasts weren't much to the Thunderlight tribe, they were invaluable to some disciples. They were considered significant resources. Yes, seventh elder. Now that senior brother Wang Xian has reached level 7 supremacy, he's much stronger than me. His power of lightning is extremely powerful. Third senior sister replied. He has already reached the universe venerable level 7? So fast? The seventh elder's face revealed a shocked expression. Yes, elder. Senior brother Wang Xian is incredible. The disciples at the side immediately responded. This talent is really, Elder 7 clicked his tongue. He looked at the wild beasts in front of him and said after a moment of hesitation, keep the wild beasts that you can use as your battle pets. I will report this to the chief elder and the others. It's seventh elder. The group of disciples replied happily. Buzz buzz. Before long, 3 figures appeared in the merit point store. The seventh elder and the others were slightly stunned. They quickly bowed and said, Greetings, clan leader, greetings, protector. Disciple pays respect to elder, protector, and grand elder. Third senior sister and the others also bowed respectfully. Get up. Where is Wang Xian's disciple? The leader of the Thunderlight tribe, who had long purple hair, sat in the middle of the group and glanced at them. Clan leader, Wang Xian's disciple is currently at his residence. The seventh elder reported immediately. Did you guys see Wang Xian's disciple in action? The leader of the Thunderlight tribe nodded his head plainly and asked the group of disciples. Reporting to clan leader, we saw senior brother Wang Xian transforming into a thunder dragon in battle. He was incredible. The group of disciples replied immediately. The leader of the Thunderlight tribe's eyes flickered as he looked at the group of wild beasts. Seventh elder, take out a thunder core grass from the treasure vault as a reward for Wang Xian's disciple. Get Jingyun. And some female disciples to send it over. The leader of the Thunderlight tribe said plainly. His words caused the disciples to be slightly stunned. The seventh elder opened his mouth and responded immediately with shock in his eyes. The thunder core grass was a treasure of the Thunderlight tribe. It was nurtured in the paradise above the main hall. Every billion years, it would be tempered by thunder and lightning to grow 10 of them. Hence, it was extremely precious in the Thunderlight tribe. As for getting the female disciples to send it over, they were clear in their hearts. The leader was trying to seduce Wang Xian's disciple with his beauty. The disciples of the Thunderlight tribe were a little different from humans. They had a pair of lightning wings and sharp noses. However, this didn't mean that there weren't any beauties in the Thunderlight tribe. In fact, the beauties of the Thunderlight tribe were also very beautiful. The sharp noses of the males of the Thunderlight tribe were black, but the noses of the females were purple. There was a different kind of beauty to them. Lei Jingyun was considered a beauty in the Thunderlight tribe. Of course, she wasn't the most beautiful. In that case, let Yunzi and the rest go over as well. Clan leader, are you going over to take a look at that disciple? The great elder asked with a smile. I won't see him for now. Let our disciples build a good relationship with him. If he can become the big senior brother of the Thunderlight tribe, we'll meet again. The leader of the Thunderlight tribe pondered for a moment before replying with a smile. All right. The great elder nodded his head and looked at the group of disciples in front. Get Yunzi and the other beautiful female disciples over. In a while, bring them to the residence of Wang Xian's disciple and give him the thunder core grass. Yes, great elder. The group of disciples exchanged looks and nodded their heads. The leader of the Thunderlight tribe and the rest smiled and left immediately. What the leader and the rest mean is that they want some of the female disciples of our tribe to get together with senior brother Wang Xian. A middle-aged disciple couldn't help but comment when he saw the leader and the rest leaving. Senior brother Wang Xian is a divine dragon and has such great potential. Naturally, the leader wants to keep senior brother Wang Xian here forever. Junior sister Jingyun, you can grab hold of this opportunity. A middle-aged disciple said to Lei Jingyun with flickering eyes. Senior brother Wang Xian is really handsome and powerful. If senior brother Wang Xian really likes me, I'll definitely not reject him. It's a pity that senior brother Wang Xian is too outstanding. I'm afraid he won't fancy me. Lei Jingyun blushed slightly. However, she spoke casually without any hesitation. I think junior sister Yunzi is very confident. Junior sister Yunzi is the goddess among the disciples. That's really possible. Let's go and get junior sister Yunzi over. If any of them can get together with senior brother Wang Xian, I reckon the leader will reward them handsomely. Don't talk about rewards. Senior brother Wang Xian is so outstanding and handsome. I reckon there won't be any junior sister who won't like him. The group of disciples discussed. Chapter 3376. Junior Sister Yunzi. Junior Sister Yunzi. On the mountain peak where the disciples of the lightning race lived, fourth senior sister, and the rest had arrived at the palace where Lei Ziyun was staying. Senior sisters, senior brothers, junior brothers, what's the matter? Lei Ziyun came out of her palace, looked at them in shock and greeted them immediately. At this moment, apart from fourth senior sister and a dozen others, there were 40 to 50 female disciples of the lightning race. All of them were single and beautiful disciples. Junior sister Yunzi, it's an order from the clan head and elders. We're here to inform you. Fourth senior sister said to her with a smile. Why are you summoning me? Lei Yunzi asked with a puzzled look. To deliver the thunder core grass to senior brother Wang Xian as a reward. Fourth senior sister answered. Thunder core grass? Lei Yunzi was shocked. Why do you want us to deliver it? Junior sister, can't you tell? The chief and the rest want us to get in touch with senior brother Wang Xian and see who can match his feelings. A female disciple said with a smile. Lei Yunzi was taken aback. She naturally knew about senior brother Wang Xian, who had just joined the lightning race. She also knew that he was a divine dragon disciple of the ancestral dragon bloodline. However, she was shocked that the chief had personally acted as a go-between. This made her a little, all right, I have to obey the chief's order. Lei Yunzi smiled and walked over. Let's go. I haven't met senior brother Wang Xian yet. I'll have to take a good look later. Fourth senior sister, I heard that senior brother Wang Xian is stronger than you. Wow, that's incredible. Senior brother Wang Xian is so much younger than us. The group of female disciples discussed with glowing eyes. Most of them had never seen Wang Xian before. Therefore, they were curious and their eyes were beaming. What are those girls doing there? I don't know. Senior sister Lei Yunzi is there too. She's the goddess of our disciples. I heard that even big senior brother is interested in her. I wonder if it's true. In the surroundings, some of the disciples whispered to each other when they saw the beautiful girls. Senior brother Wang Xian, my junior brothers and sisters are here to disturb you. The group arrived before Wang Xian's palace and spoke. In the palace, Wang Xian was researching on how to integrate the 9 elements. When he heard the voice outside, he raised an eyebrow and said, Please come in. Let's go. Let's see what senior brother Wang Xian looks like. Senior brother Wang Xian should be a baby dragon, right? The group of girls immediately flew into the palace, their eyes filled with excitement. When Wang Xian came to the guest hall, his face darkened when he heard the faint voices coming from the front. A fragrance wafted over. He looked over and saw that most of them were female disciples. This caused him to be slightly stunned. Wow, senior brother Wang Xian looks so handsome. His bearing is extraordinary. A female disciple commented with a smile. The rest of the female disciples were also sizing him up. Senior brother Wang Xian, sorry to disturb you. We are here to give you a treasure in the name of the clan leader and the elders. This is a reward from the clan. The fourth sister smiled and looked at Lei Yunzi beside her. Lei Yunzi looked at her and then at Wang Xian. She walked forward and handed it over. Reward. Wang Xian looked at the treasure box in Lei Yunzi's hand with curiosity in his eyes. He took it and opened it to take a look. When he saw the thunder core grass inside, his eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Just from the lightning energy on it, he could tell that it was very precious. Sorry to trouble all of you to send it over, Wang Xian said with a smile. You're welcome, senior brother Wang Xian. Senior brother, can we ask you a question? A female disciple asked with a smile. Sure. Wang Xian looked at her and nodded. Senior brother Wang Xian, how did you cultivate? How did you improve so quickly? She immediately asked. I improved just by cultivating. Wang Xian replied. He couldn't possibly say that he had the system, right? That's too much of a blow. Senior brother Wang Xian, can you teach us some thunder techniques in the future? The female disciple continued to ask. No problem. You can ask me if you have any questions. Wang Xian nodded. With the thunder dragon technique and the tempest bird's understanding of thunder techniques, Wang Xian's foundation in thunder techniques was much stronger than the thunder light race. Really? In that case, can we come over anytime? A female disciple asked with beaming eyes. For the time being. I'm free now. Wang Xian pondered for a moment before agreeing. Now that all the lightning feathers had been found, he was indeed free. That's great. Since we are free now, senior brother Wang Xian can teach us a thing or two. The fourth senior sister said with a beaming face. All right, let's go to the training field. Wang Xian said. Let's go. The group of female disciples exclaimed excitedly. Following them, Wang Xian came to the place where the disciples of the Thunder Light race were practicing their thunder techniques. There were many disciples in the training field. When they saw Wang Xian and the group, they were all curious. Wang Xian and the group came to a separate training field. Tell me if you have any questions. I'll tell you if I know. Wang Xian stood in the middle and said to them. With his current strength, he was qualified to teach them. Let me do it, senior brother Wang Xian. A female disciple stretched out her hand and asked a question. Wang Xian replied without hesitation. It's true. Soon, that female disciple exclaimed and nodded her head. Senior brother Wang Xian, I've created a thunder technique and want to cultivate it into the law of Dharma form to help me break through. What do you think? Soon, another lady asked seriously. Wang Xian nodded his head, looked over, and explained. After teaching a few female disciples, the rest of the female disciples' eyes lit up. Even the fourth senior sister was surprised. After hesitating for a moment, she also asked a question. This question was easily solved by Wang Xian. This surprised all the disciples. Among the disciples, some had masters, and some had parents and elders to guide them. However, their masters and parents were mostly rank 7 or rank 8 universe supremacies. There were very few rank 9 universe supremacies. Their masters and parents' understanding of thunder techniques was completely inferior to Wang Xian's. Senior brother Wang Xian, do you know sage techniques? I've encountered a problem when I tried to integrate sage techniques into thunder techniques. Lei Yunzi couldn't help but ask Wang Xian after a while. Sage techniques? Wang Xian frowned slightly when he heard her question. I don't know much about sage techniques, but a friend gave me a painting. As he spoke, he took out a painting that scholar Fang Wenxing had given him back on the ship. This painting was drawn by him and was one of his masterpieces. One could comprehend some sage techniques from it. Take a look at this painting. It's similar to the Great Tao. To use words and paintings to trigger thunder techniques, one has to master the laws and rules within. Wang Xian added. Lei Yunzi's eyes lit up when she saw the painting. She was excited and immediately responded, Thank you, senior brother Wang Xian. Chapter 3377. Have you heard? Senior brother Wang Xian is guiding a group of disciples at the training field. Many female senior sisters and junior brothers are there. You just heard about it? I heard that even senior sister Lei Yunzi is pouring tea for senior brother Wang Xian. Ah, my goddess! Senior brother Wang Xian is ranked 3rd on the ranking of our Thunder Light Tribe disciples. He's a monster. The news of Wang Xian guiding a group of disciples at the training field spread like wildfire. Many disciples rushed over upon hearing the news. Since Wang Xian had decided to guide them to repay the great elder's kindness, he wasn't impatient at all. In the chaotic continent, there was no such thing as day and night. Years were calculated in terms of eras. Therefore, 10 days to half a month was just the time for them to ponder over a problem. A casual journey here would take a few months. One could imagine how worthless time was. Wang Xian guided them continuously for 5 days. Later on, more disciples rushed over. He didn't mind and continued guiding them patiently. This caused his reputation to rise rapidly among the disciples of the Thunderlight tribe. At this moment, more than 1,000 disciples had gathered at the training field. All of them were looking at the figure sitting in front of them with admiration. Senior brother Wang Xian is amazing. He can easily point out any cultivation difficulties. He's too strong. Yeah, I think he's even stronger than great senior brother. Great senior brother? I think he's even stronger than our elder. Even fourth senior sister is asking senior brother Wang Xian for guidance. The surrounding disciples discussed softly. Senior brother Wang Xian, have some tea. Beside Wang Xian, Lei Yunzi, Lei Jingyun and the rest were talking passionately. Wang Xian smiled faintly. He looked at the disciple in front of him and gave him some pointers. That Wang Xian is too strong. Let's report this to eldest senior brother. Judging from senior brother Lei Yunzi's reaction, she must have taken a liking to Wang Xian. If great senior brother knows about this, he'll definitely be furious. He'll probably teach Wang Xian a good lesson. 3 middle-aged men at the side transmitted their voices to each other. The great senior brother of the Thunderlight tribe was the strongest among them. He had been the great senior brother for tens of millions of years. Even though he hadn't reached a level 8 universe venerable yet, he was almost invincible among level 7 universe venerables. The 3 of them had also obtained many benefits by following their eldest senior brother. Among all the disciples, he was ranked in the top 20. They all knew that eldest senior brother liked Thundercloud Purple. They would also report the situation of Thundercloud Purple to eldest senior brother in a timely manner. Now that Lei Yunzi was so attentive to Wang Xian, it was definitely a huge matter for big senior brother. If they didn't report it immediately, they would definitely be punished later on. The 3 of them looked at each other and immediately left. They had absolute confidence in their eldest senior brother's strength. In the past, second senior brother and third senior sister had said that even if they joined forces, they would not be a match for eldest senior brother. One could only imagine how strong eldest senior brother was. Are you telling the truth? Half an hour later, in the Thunderlight Paradise above the main palace of the Thunderlight race. This grotto heaven was the strongest grotto heaven of the lightning race and also the most important one. However, not everyone could cultivate here. Among all the disciples, only the strongest eldest senior brother or eldest senior sister had the right to cultivate here. At this moment, a burly middle-aged man flew out from inside. The middle-aged man asked with a gloomy expression. He had a dignified look on his face and was surrounded by lightning bolts. Eldest senior brother, we only rushed here to report after checking it out. A middle-aged man replied respectfully. They were full of respect for their eldest senior brother. Among all the disciples, eldest senior brother was the strongest existence of the current generation. Wang Xian? Tell me all the information about him. Teaching disciples at the training ground? TSK, I want to see for myself. As eldest senior brother spoke, he snorted softly and flew in the direction of the training ground of the lightning race disciples. The 3 middle-aged men immediately followed behind and told eldest senior brother all the information about Wang Xian. Purebred divine dragon? Less than 20 eras? A rank 7 universe supremacy? When eldest senior brother heard Wang Xian's information, his expression changed slightly. Tisk, all the supreme talents are still weaklings before they become experts. He remained silent for dozens of seconds before he snorted coldly with a sullen face. However, there was a tinge of pressure in his eyes. Swish. When he arrived at the training ground of the lightning race, eldest senior brother scanned the surroundings. Eldest senior brother, over here? The 3 of them led him towards the training ground. There were still some disciples walking towards the training ground. Eldest senior brother, greetings to eldest senior brother. Greetings to eldest senior brother. When some disciples saw eldest senior brother, they were slightly shocked and quickly greeted him with respect. Eldest senior brother didn't say a word and walked straight in. Wow, that junior brother is so lucky. He actually broke through on the spot under senior brother Wang Xian's guidance. Senior brother Wang Xian is too awesome. He's simply invincible. As soon as they entered, they heard exclamations coming from the front. Eldest senior brother furrowed his brows slightly and looked ahead. When he saw Lei Yunzi standing beside a young man, his expression changed slightly. He had liked Lei Yunzi for a long time. However, her attitude towards him was very ordinary. Now that he saw her looking at the disciple named Wang Xian with admiration, he clenched his fists slightly. Eldest senior brother, you have to calm down. The elders in the family have instructed us to befriend Wang Xian. The three middle-aged disciples at the side immediately reminded him when they sensed the imposing aura emanating from him. Disciples can only improve better through sparring. Eldest senior brother's eyes were a little cold as he moved slightly. Next disciple with a question, come up. At this time, Wang Xian's voice sounded. In the middle, the young man bowed with excitement and walked to the side. A female disciple was about to go up. At this time, she suddenly saw a figure in the middle and was taken aback. I have a question regarding cultivation. Eldest senior brother, who came to the middle, stared at Wang Xian and asked plainly, This is eldest senior brother. What is eldest senior brother doing here? Seeking guidance from senior brother Wang Xian? With eldest senior brother's strength, does he still need to seek guidance from senior brother Wang Xian? The sudden appearance of the eldest senior brother in the center caused all the surrounding disciples to be shocked. Lei Yunzi, who was beside Wang Xian, was taken aback. Subsequently, she frowned slightly. Ask away. When Wang Xian heard the discussions around him, he raised his eyebrows and took a sip of tea. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.